My name is Daphne Suko, and my project is the effect of aphantasia on visual memory. This is the scale of phantasia, ranging from a 1, hyperphantasia, to a 5, aphantasia, the basis of my project. This is my abstract, my safety sheet, and my humans as test subject endorsements. For my acknowledgments, I would like to thank my teachers, Ms. Young, Mr. Norland, and Ms. Kim, for assisting me throughout this project. I would also like to thank my mom, Melissa Suko, and my brother, Oliver Suko, or Ollie, for introducing me to the topic of aphantasia and helping me find sources. In addition, I would like to give credit to my sponsor, Mr. Parsons, for helping me plan out my experiment and offering his students as test subjects. Finally, I would like to thank my friends for participating in my project and being supportive throughout the entire process. Purpose. Aphantasia is the lack of mental imagery, and it is known to affect visual memory. Specifically, aphantasia causes a decrease in visual memory. Although it is unknown how short and long-term visual memory are each affected. Hypothesis. If an individual has aphantasia, they will have a better short-term visual memory than long-term visual memory, although still have reduced visual memory compared to individuals without aphantasia, because the visual information will only have to be retained over a short period of time, and aphantasia causes a lowered visual ability recall. Background research highlights aphantasia and short and long-term visual memory. Aphantasia is the lack of mental imagery. It is thought to affect about 3% of the population, although it seems that this number has and still can change with more research. Individuals with aphantasia, also called aphantasics, have an inability to create other sensory, such as hearing, touch, or taste. There is also research that suggests that aphantasia is genetic, although this has not yet been proven. In addition, the area affected by aphantasia is also unknown, although it is thought to be the primary visual cortex. Short-term and long-term visual memory. Visualizing is important to visual memory, although not necessary. It makes remembering visual information much easier. Short-term visual memory is visual information maintained actively over a short period of time. After the short period of time, the visual information is either forgotten or converted into long-term memory. Long-term memories all start off as short-term memories, but long-term memory storage is theoretically infinite. Materials. To do this project, you will need a computer or a phone, internet and Wi-Fi, Google Forms, at least 30 participants for each experimental group, 2 experimental groups meaning 30 participants, a detailed image to test participants' visual recall, like the one to the right, and 2 sets of 10 questions based on details in the image to test visual memory, such as what color are the bed sheets, or how many trophies are on the shelves. Creating the survey procedure. Select an image for participants to look at and memorize, such as the one on the previous slide. Create 2 sets of 10 questions to test participants' visual recall ability, such as how many books were on the shelves or what color were the shoes. Third, create the basic questions to gather minimal information about participants, such as please select your age range or preferred gender. Do not add any questions that ask for information that could identify participants, such as name or email. Fourth, create 2 identical forms to collect the data, one for the controlled group, individuals without aphantasia, and one for the experimental group, individuals with aphantasia. Add in the image and the created question sets. Fifth, include the consent form at the beginning of the form. Experimental procedure. First, send out each form to participants from the corresponding experimental group. Second, wait for participants to fill out the form. It should take about an hour. 15 minutes of that hour being taking the survey, and 45 being waiting for short-term memory to become long-term memory. Third, input the collected data into tables. Fourth, analyze the performance of each experimental group and make connections. Fifth, make connections and create conclusions between groups and within groups. The results. Table 1.1 shows the mean effect of aphantasia on visual memory, showing those with aphantasia averaging a 4.8 plus or minus 0.2 on short term and a 4.4 plus or minus 0.2 on long-term visual memory, while those without aphantasia average a 6.4 plus or minus 0.2 short-term and 5.5 plus or minus 0.2 long-term visual memory. Figure 1.1 shows the comparison between the two groups, with those without aphantasia averaging a higher score on both short and long-term visual memory. The conclusion. The hypothesis was partially supported. It was proven incorrect to the extent that individuals with aphantasia experienced no notable decrease in short to long-term visual memory, although the hypothesis was proven correct to the extent that aphantasics had decreased short and long-term visual memory when compared to the control group, individuals without aphantasia. The control group did experience the typical decrease in visual memory from short to long-term visual memory. Here is my reference list. And thank you for your time, consideration, and for listening to my presentation.